أعزائي المشاهدين، أهلا وسهلا بكم حلقة جديدة من برنامج موفرز اند شيكرز. وياكم مقدم البرنامج نيك نجار، وكل معتاد كل أسبوع عندنا ضيف، بس اليوم ضيفنا يختلف عن بقية الضيوف. ضيفنا اليوم سبيشل خاص، ضيف خاص. سببه أنه سبيشل أو ضيف خاص عندنا لأنه من ابن الجالية الكلدانية العربية العراقية المتواجدة في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، المرشح الحاضر والمستقبل لمجلس النواب في ولاية ميشيغان الأمريكية، ألا وهو الأخ العزيز كلينت قسطو. كلينت، أهلا وسهلا. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Well, Clint, what I said just a minute ago, if you got the idea, you are the special guest. The reason you are special because you are part of our community. You're not normal, regular guest. You come here because you are part of the TV, part of the community, and we welcome you to our show.
Thank you.
Movers and
Thank
Shakers.
you for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you for. I know a week from today, it's an election. You're going through a lot, busy time. You have a family and everything else, but we took this time to introduce you again to the community, and even the community know you by now, but after 4 years helping the community and doing what you're doing right now. But we like to show and support you again because we need people like you, a person like you, represent the community in general, Chaldean and Middle Eastern, in Lansing, hopefully in the future in Washington, D.C. So in our show, let's start again today as at the beginning. Explain a little bit about Michigan. How many state representatives in Michigan?
110 state representatives.
110.
38 senators.
38 senators. Which area you represent, your area? What's your district area?
Every representative has about 90,000 people. My people are in Wixom, Wolverine Lake, Commerce Township, and half of West Bloomfield Township.
So you are part of the West Bloomfield, the other three cities. What district number is your area?
It's 39.
39, District 39. Klint Kesto 4 years ago ran for state representative, and from first time he made it there. And we are a very proud community to have a person like you, a member of our community, and represent the community and specifically, and the whole communities, not only the Chaldean and Arabs in general. The 90,000, not only they are Chaldean or Arabs, they are mixed communities. So we are very proud that the second time you ran 2 years ago and you made it again. That's an evidence you're doing a good job. And now you're running for the third time. So a person like you running the state representative, every how many years run? 2 years, right?
You run every 2 years.
For how many times you can run?
You can do it 3 times. So now I'm doing my 3rd time.
So there's a question. Let's say that's what we hope and we wish, and we are almost sure you're going to make it again because you're doing a great job. Very happy, very supportive to you. 2 years from today, where are you going to be? What are you thinking about after the 6 years in Lansing? Are you thinking going to the Senate? Are you going to Washington? Are you doing something else? Or are you going to be in a private life again?
Well, I don't know exactly where I'll go or if I run for office, but one thing for sure is I will continue to serve the people.
So that indication that means you're going to be again running for something else, hopefully. Last week I have Candace Miller here, Congresswoman Candace Miller. And she told me about her story. She was a supervisor at Harrison Township, then she went to treasurer in Macomb County, then Secretary of State, then Congresswoman, then back again to Macomb County after she's 62 years old and she's still serving. She said she was thinking to go to the private life. Then she said, nah, public life is better than private life. So let me work. So you're still young, educated person, very energetic. You just you have a little baby.
That's
Congratulations,
right.
by the way. I'm very happy for you to have, the family with the baby, and that's very nice. So today, the people listening to us, they said, Klint Kesto, 2012 run for state representative. You're a very reachable person. That's a nice thing. I communicate with you many times through the text, through the office, you are very good in responding to the people, and I admire that. Not too many politicians, you can reach them all the time. So your goal when you run 4 years ago to serve the Chaldean community, the Arab community, the Jewish community, all the communities in the area. In your mind, last 4 years, do you accomplish what you want to accomplish or not?
I have accomplished a lot. Like you said, number one, first the service part, serving people with individual problems and individual issues and making sure the government is working for them. People that call me and say, I can't get through the unemployment agency, or the Department of Treasury is withholding a check for me, or I can't get mental health services, where do I go? All these individual problems, healthcare, roads, individual problems, and yet I connect with the people and the government so that the government is working for the people as it's intended to do. But not just that, Nick. We've done things for the whole state of Michigan, things that I've been a part of. Keeping our roads safe. I was the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Legislator of the Year. I was endorsed by the Police Officers Association of Michigan because we put more standards, higher standards, and better training for our police officers with a funding stream for them. If you look at roads in Michigan, part of a package to make sure that our roads and infrastructure is funded and funded appropriately. You look at healthcare and people who fall in a gap of not qualifying for Medicaid but not being able to afford health insurance. We have a Healthy Michigan plan for them. I was a part of that. You look at human trafficking, where they're taking people and selling them as property for sex, for work, women, children. I was a part of a package to stop that and keep people safe. Domestic violence issues, where there are victims out there, whether it be parents and their children or spouses with each other, part of a package to make sure that everyone is safe in their comfort of their own home. You look at technology and changing our court system, and I had bills passed into law that say we can change our court system and have streamlined through the internet, and you can file into a court through the internet anywhere in the state. You look at a package of bills regarding opioid abuse, when people are becoming addicted to pills and then going to heroin. We need to keep our children safe and our people safe. I have a bill out there right now that we're working on to get signed into law. Reforms for government. We want government to be clear and transparent and accountable, not doing things that are behind people's back, as you see currently on the national scale, where people are doing things through emails and what have you. We make accountable through the Freedom of Information Act and making the people more accessible to see what the government is doing. Accountability through what's called civil asset forfeiture reform. When law enforcement agencies, police agencies come into your home or business, seize property, and you're unable to get it back, we made it accountable where they have to be held to a standard to show that that was being used in illegal activity, not just because they want to take it. And we make it transparent so that the people of the state can go and say, what is the property that they took? What did the police do? That's what I've been doing for the people. You look at education and representing the communities like the Chaldean community and the Jewish community, the Armenian community, and others. And having in our education system teach about the Holocaust, teach about genocide, teach about the Armenian genocide, so that what happens across the world when people are being killed for their religion, for their beliefs, because they're a little bit different, that people know that that's a genocide and to take action to stop it. Those are the things that I've done for a community as a whole, as well as individuals. And I continue to do it and continue to serve. And that's why, we're looking for all the support we can in the next week, because you want a representative, you want a legislator who you can call and they'll answer. When you have an issue, they'll fix it. And when there's a problem with the state, they have a solution to fix the problem.
The part of this interview, not only to promote you for your election, because I like to do it regularly, or once a year at least, to explain to the community, not only during the election time. I know you are always available. I tried that before, and I testify for that. You're always available to answer the phones for me and other people. We want, part of this interview, we like to show the community, when you elect member of your community, understand your culture, understand your language, understand the feeling, understand the problem you're going through. Not everybody understand this. So we have somebody like you and somebody else could be running in the future. We could help the community in different ways. We like to explain, show the community, the member of the community, he's in Lansing, or he or she in Lansing or Washington, D.C., what kind of help could be to the communities in generally, and our community specifically because you speak the language and history. That's the reason we want to meet with you regular once a year at least to sit and explain what happened during the year. What do you accomplish within the year? Are you satisfied personally? Are you happy with what you accomplished? You want to do more? What are you doing more? How could the community help you to accomplish what you want to accomplish? Let's go back again to Lansing. A lot of people that said we see in Washington, Democrat, Republican, they don't get along together. A lot of stuff does not happen. They cannot finish the job because they fight with each other. Is that something in Lansing, or do you get along together better than Washington?
We get along with each other very, very well. But remember, there's only 110 representatives
Sure.
versus 435.
435, yes.
The other thing is there are certain issues we're going to fight about. And there are certain individuals whose personalities clash. But for the most part, we get along. But you have to have the right philosophy and be a part of a solution. When people start becoming part of a problem, when people start digging their heels in and saying, I will not negotiate no matter what, then you have more fighting. Now, there are certain issues that I'll dig my heels in, and there are certain issues that others will dig their heels in. But there are other common issues, like the economy. How do we make the economy better? And there are different philosophies between the Democrat platform and the Republican platform. Regarding budget and savings and paying off debt, there is a philosophy on the Democrat side and philosophy on the Republican side. Certain types of freedoms and where the lines are drawn. The Second Amendment, the First Amendment, freedom of speech and religion. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. There are different philosophies of each platform. And when you look at that, sometimes there's wiggle room and sometimes there isn't. But with 110, you're able to accomplish more. And fortunately in Michigan, we have a Republican, fortunately for me, and for our state actually, because the economy's been better. We have a Republican legislature that has gotten a lot accomplished with a Republican governor. So, as much as there's fighting that we see in Washington, probably the media sensationalizes that because that's the only item that they're picking up.
The problem sold, sells all better than
that sells better than what's going on. So I haven't worked in Washington, but I would guess that they would probably have many things that they agree upon and a few that they don't. We only see the ones that they don't.
About a year ago, there were a bill in Lansing for $1 billion some dollars for the roads. The Republican and Democrats stumbled with that because there's another issue was inserted with the bill there. Did you solve that issue, or you still guys?
We solved that issue, and we solved it in a very conservative way and a fiscally responsible way. What do I mean by that? I mean, number one, you don't want to ask the people for more money. We are a government. We should work within our means and look at our budget. However, with this issue, we want to dedicate money directly to roads. So we split some hairs. We found a middle ground. The Republicans voted on the package. It was half of it directly from the budget. The other half was from new revenue. But the previous bills that were out there and the previous suggestions were all new revenue from the people. And we were able to come to an agreement within the Republican Party. Actually, I don't think the Democrats voted for it, to say we'll do half existing and half new revenue. Now, if you look at the gas prices, they go up, they go down based on the market. What's going on in the Middle East? What's going on in Russia? What's going on in South America? How much oil are we producing in the United States? And that fluctuates the price. So really, when you look at the price, the increase, no one really felt it because actually gas prices had gone down. And we've solved that now. And now you see more barrels, more construction. And I know it's annoying, and I know it's frustrating.
No, but I read a sign one time. It said short-time headache, long-time comfort.
That's what it is.
So I know sometimes when I drive on Maple Road and Drake drive me crazy as realtor, I go around and try to show property there. I have to go circle 3 miles, 4 miles, or in DeQuinder and South Boulevard is crazy, or Big Beaver. But that's a good sign for two reasons. Sign number one, the road's going to be better. Sign number two is going to have people working with a high pay employee. we're going to have less unemployed people working with the high pay. So actually, the construction is not a bad thing. Even sometimes when we drive and we get frustrated with the barrels, and we said, why taking so long? Why is doing this? Why they not doing this? But I prefer. I take me 6 months to finish that project. Then I drive and blow my tires.
That's right. That's right.
Or my car get hurt or something. We had potholes and stuff like this. Governor, our governor of the state of Michigan. I'm a Democrat, but I really
Nobody's perfect.
I no, I admire him. I admire this guy. Honestly, I do. Regardless of he's a Republican. I felt at the time of Flint water crisis. I think it was not because of. No, I'm not trying to defend him. I'm not trying to defend the governor. I felt he got included in this problem, and even without his notice, I know he's responsible. And he said, "I'll take the blame." He admitted. He said, "I'll take the blame, and I'm working on to fix it." A lot of people that time they tried to make him resign, push him to resign. And our governor did a great job for unemployment. We have low unemployment. We have jobs in Michigan. He's working good. And I, as a Democrat, give him good credit to this guy, to our governor. In your opinion, serious, honest opinion, did he get a knowledge of what happened in Flint, or he ignored it, or he was misled with this administration?
Well, I believe, and there are emails that are out there and whatnot, but I believe that he was misled, and he's not, even though he took the blame, because he's the type of person that looks at an issue, and if there's a problem, he'll find a solution. He doesn't want to dwell on the problem. He's a problem solver. He's solution oriented with resilient positive action, right? Relentless positive action. So when you look at Flint, and you look at the people that were there making decision and gathering information and not presenting that information, people who worked for the government, people even from the city of Flint that were elected by the people of Flint that wanted to switch, they're not held accountable. Why not? Because the governor's Republican and they're Democrats. The people who were employees of government, bureaucrats, who misled and gave misinformation, they're not held accountable. Why? Because they're just civil servants, government employees, bureaucrats. There needs to be accountability in government, even for them. And even the emergency manager should also be held accountable in that instance. You look at what the governor has done and what the legislature has done. We took immediate action. We took immediate action and sent millions of dollars into Flint to assist. That was in October. Later, during the budget, during the budget time in February, March, April, May, we sent hundreds of millions of dollars more to help them. Now you look at that. They're calling on a Republican governor who signed that budget bill, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House of Representatives that all said, we are going to help the situation. And yet the Democrats in the House did not vote for those budget bills.
They did not.
Not on the general budget, I don't believe all.
But my understanding, the Democrat and Republican work on this for that budget to these
they
$170
did,
million
but not all
or
of
something,
them. But most Republicans did. And then you look at the people in Flint and their elected officials and the mayor who continue to attack and to attack and to attack, but instead of solving problems. That's the governor we have, is that he solves problems. He comes in with a rainy day fund. This is your savings. $2 million. Currently, it's over $650 million. You look at long-term debt. Sky high, 2010. It's being paid off. People talk about education funding. Well, how come you aren't funding the kids? I looked at the numbers. Before I got there, in 2012, it was $12.7 billion. Today is $14.2 billion.
It's $1.5 billion more.
$1.5 billion more. You look at jobs. There was a loss of like 700,000 jobs. We've increased more private sector jobs, not government jobs. These are private sector, high-paying jobs of over 450,000 new jobs. You mentioned unemployment. In 2010 and in those times, it was 12, 13%.
It reached 15.
It's under 5% now.
Yep.
I mean, these are solving problems for the better of the state of Michigan, for the better of the economy, and for the betterment of the people. And yet we want to make him a villain because of misinformation from a bureaucrat and decisions made by the Flint City Council as well, and no one wants to take credit there. Yes, he stood up. He said, I'm the governor. Everything stops with me. I'm the one who should be fixing the problem. I'll take the blame, and I'm going to fix it. And he has.
Federal government, are they helping?
The federal government did put money in. I don't know the exact amount, but they just passed their budget. Finally, I don't even know if they passed their budget. I think in there.
I heard they're going to give
money.
$100 million some dollars to Flint.
Something like that.
Because now we are in the third phase of putting the piping under the ground in Flint. Hopefully by summertime we'll be done with everything. My understanding, they just started with the third 800 homes going to be putting new pipes under the ground for Flint. In the meantime, I know still they support them with the water. They supply them with the water bottles and everything else. I know it's a big issue in Flint. I know it's a big problem, especially for people living in Flint. There's 80, 90, 100,000 people live in Flint. To us, we live in different part. Maybe you didn't feel that, but I know a lot of organizations donated money from different counties and cities to Flint. And I noticed one thing, even the candidate for the presidents, they always talk about Flint. They use it as an example. They come and visit Flint, many of them, both sides, Republican and Democrat. And they use it as an issue of, big issue of Flint. Yesterday, even Donald Trump in his speech in Macomb Community College, he said we used to have manufactured cars in Flint and dairy wire in Mexico. Now we have dairy wire in Flint, and we have production of cars in Mexico. Hopefully we'll bring more businesses to Flint and other cities in Michigan, so we can people can prosper in that area, because Flint is one of the vibrant city of Michigan. Flint and Pontiac, they were very vibrant, very active cities in economy-wise. I remember in the 1980s, I used to be a sales manager at the uniform company, and we used to supply the automotives with the hundred thousands of pieces of uniform at that time. So that's part of the business. Let's come back to your campaign. How is your campaign doing?
We're doing well. We've raised money, do mailers, make phone calls, knock on doors, send flyers, get on the radio, get on TV, doing everything we can, but most of all, the hard work that I've done over the past 4 years in terms of working for the people, that's part of it as well that people need to recognize. So when you send a mailer, it talks about my accomplishments. When I get on the radio, I talk about my accomplishments. In this interview, we talk about accomplishments. But the campaign it's a little tricky to understand. What's going on with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton could affect me. What goes on when some people are just straight Democrats and some people are straight Republicans? It's the independents in between that I try to tap into to show my accomplishments and show my track record. And in my district, as you know, it's very close. It's a close district. It's one of those battleground style districts. But I'll continue to work, and I hope that the members of the community, those especially that are watching, will go out and vote. Not just say we're going to support, and not just say, you have my vote, but to actually go and vote. And not just, in my area, I love it, of course, come and vote for me. But not just because of that, but because this is one of the freedoms. These are one of the choices that we have. This is one of the abilities that, as being here in the United States and having a citizenship and going out and exercising your right to vote, that you can change America. You could change where we're going. You can change the future for your children and grandchildren.
This question, I hear it a lot when I'm with people. I'm communicating with a lot of people.
I sure do.
I hear a lot of, what is the difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump? Both they are same. They're not doing nothing. Why am I going to go spend my time, waste my time, go and voting? They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to change nothing. To me, my answer, and I will listen to your answer too. To me, election and voting is a luxury. Not only, I call it a duty. It's a duty of every person in America. And I was so proud in 1989 when I voted first time, 88 actually, I voted for first time at that time because I became a citizen in that year. I became a citizen in April 17, 1988. At the end of the year, in November, we have the right to vote. And I was so happy when I left, looked like I won a jackpot because I never experienced before voting. I never voted before in my life. To me, we have this luxury, this opportunity to go vote, even if I don't believe in Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or whoever I'm voting there. The list is not only Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. There is state representative. There's people make direct effect in your life like you and other people, mayors, city council, judges. There is proposals, a proposal, I don't know what. There's so many things in your life. Supreme Court. It's very important just to go and vote. They said sometimes in American voting, people, they go there, just put their name and give the ballot without voting. To prove they are already went and they voted. If people cannot go by themselves, they cannot afford, they don't have a car, they're physically not, they cannot go, they can call one of us, we can help. Or they can go absentee ballots. They can, even there's a week, they can still get absentee ballots. There's early votings, they can do it. So there's no excuse to me, even if Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton does not suit my desire and my politics, there's other people could make it. So go there, vote, and help. In your opinion, the people who find excuses, those politicians, they're not going to make a difference, and they sit and complain later.
It's usually the ones who complain.
They complain later. Oh, the politics is not good. They're not doing good for us. We don't have jobs. They're not doing this. What do you say to them? What's your opinion?
Well, it's similar to what you said. Number one, it's a duty. Number two, it's a right. And number three, you can't complain. If you have the ability to make a change and you don't take that opportunity, then you are contributing to the demise. If you don't take the opportunity to voice your opinion by voting, then no one really wants to hear you. And this is where it's at. Why do people go to certain communities? Why are they catering to the African American community or the Hispanic community or the senior citizen community, Jewish community, and others? It's because they vote. Why did we go to Michigan and Florida and Ohio and Pennsylvania? Because those are the ones that are going to make the difference, those voters. And if you want to complain and say the government is not working for me, well then you have to get up and make that change. You have to vote. And not just that, it is a refreshing feeling as you had when you voted for the first time. And when I turned 18 and voted in 2000, in the 2000 election, that was the first time I was able to vote. It's a refreshing feeling to go in and say, here's my selection, fill the circle in, and drop it off. Because now you have contributed to society. You have contributed to making it better based on your opinion. Now the candidate may or may not win, but you went there. And you look down the ballot. It's not just the president, like you said. You have our congressmen. You have your state and local officials, which are very, very important because they directly affect you.
Exactly. The direct
you have
impact.
Judges that you will be in front of at some point that you want to have and share similar beliefs. Not because you want a favor, or not because you owe them something, but because you want the people there that share your beliefs. Maybe they share that you're tough on crime. You want somebody who's tough on crime. Maybe you want someone who's conservative and you share those beliefs. You want the conservative judge there. When you look at Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, they will be appointing at least one, if not 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices. That should be a reason alone. Forget about the 2 candidates and their shenanigans. You should say, who am I going to vote for? Really, which party and which individual will be appointing Supreme Court justices that align with my beliefs?
And those people, they're going to affect your life for the next 20, 30 years.
You know, I don't agree with what Donald, I'm a Republican, and Donald Trump is the Republican candidate. And I'm not going to defend or endorse every single thing that came out of his mouth. But as a Republican, when I look at the platform of securing our borders, the platform of building up our military so that we are not a weak country. When you look at jobs and bringing those foreign jobs that went to China and Mexico and others back to our country. When you look at certain issues that should be left to the states to decide, not the federal government, but to the states, I align with those philosophies and that platform of freedom, of free market, of making sure our borders are secure, of bringing the jobs here, not turning them out to other countries. When you look at platforms, you can align yourself. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump said, but I agree with the principles of the conservative values, being pro-life, being about giving the power to the states through the 10th Amendment, supporting the freedoms of speech and religion in the First Amendment, and protecting those for people, not just so that they can go into their home or into their church or synagogue or mosque to be able to have their freedom of religion, but to be able to have freedom of religion wherever they go, and speech. And the Second Amendment rights of freedoms, the privacy rights that are out there, this smaller government. Those are the philosophies of the Republican platform that I believe in. That's why I will be voting in that manner. And because of the Supreme Court, because I want Supreme Court justices that also will be appointed that share those similar values. On the other side, they don't. And people say, well, I don't want to vote for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. I don't like them, either one of them. Let's get beyond that and go to the next step. Let's get beyond that and go down the ballot. Like you said, there are proposals, there are judges.
There are judges, proposal, Congress, state reps,
local officials,
mayors, everybody else. You know, my opinion is this. Yes, maybe the president is the front of the country. The whole world see United States president, the most powerful country in the world. They listen, but as I said, I think Klint Kesto does more effect more on my life than President gonna be Hillary Clinton or President Donald Trump, because you are the one who make decisions in Lansing for me, for us. But I spoke to many politicians on both sides, and they said to me, Nick, we love the Chaldean community, we love the Middle Eastern community, we love them, but the only one problem with them, they are donors. They only donate money. We want people not only donate money. We want people, your people, to go and cast their ballots. They let them go vote, because I know every politician. He's not only looking for money. He's looking for voting. Voting is more important than money. If you go vote, you don't need money.
That's right.
I know the money is put you in front of the people in the media and other things, but more important to you if I go vote for you than I give you $10 or give you $50 or $100 or attend one-year event. It's okay, nothing wrong to attend events. It's great, because every election depends on three things: depending on volunteers, depending on the money to advertise, and depending on the voting. To me, voting is more important than anything else. And by donating money to you, helping you financially, can put your name out there. You broadcast your name and be more known what you accomplished last 4 years. And by volunteer, it's very important. Knocking on the doors, giving leadership, flyers, working with you, go to the polls, helping at the day of the polls. That's very important. So the last question we have, because we took a little bit longer time than what I'm expecting. 1 week from today, the election, and I'm going to attend your victory party, because I'm confident you're going to win. This is, to me, is not if or but. You are, to me, you are a winner regardless, but I'm sure 99.999 you are the winner. Between today and the election, you talking to them, huge number of people watching this program within a week. What do you want to say to them? I want you to say directly to them.
You have to vote. You have to vote. You have to vote. You have to vote because that's your right. That is your right in the United States of America, that you're a citizen. You can change the future. You know, as I see my 2-month-old daughter and I look into her eyes, and then I look beyond that and say she's going to grow up and be 10 one day and 15 one day. Then she'll be 18 and she'll be going off to college, and then after college she'll be 24, and then in the future I may have some grandkids. And I say, what will the future look like for them? Now is the time where you can shape the future. Now is the time where you can go and vote for candidates that share the philosophy that you have so that the future can be brighter. Over the past 4 years, Michigan is starting to come back. The city of Detroit has improved. The whole state in terms of economy has more jobs. Property values are up. Unemployment is down. School funding is up. We need to continue on this path. I'm Clint Kesto. I represent Commerce Township, West Bloomfield, Wixom, and Wolverine Lake. And for those in that area, I ask for your vote. For those not in that area, I ask that you contact your friends and family through phone call, through text, through email. Remind them to vote. And remind them to vote for Clint Kesto because he's accessible. I'm accessible, I work hard for the people, and I take the issues, not just the individual ones of real people and real lives, but those of all the community and all those in the state.
Clint, thank you very much. We wish you good luck, and hopefully next Tuesday at night we celebrate together your winning victory party at the 3rd time as a state representative. We're proud of you as a member of the community, proud of you as a member of the state representative of the state of Michigan, great state of Michigan, for general people working for the state of Michigan. We're very proud of your past 4 years accomplishment. We wish you good luck for you and your family. God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you, and God bless.
أعزائي المشاهدين، كنا في لقاء شيق مع ابن الجالية الكلدانية العربية الشرق أوسطية، عضو مجلس النواب لولاية ميشيغان الأمريكية، السيد كلين قسطو، الذي مضى على ترشيحه 4 سنوات والآن يرشح نفسه لمرة ثالثة، وإن شاء الله نتمنى له النجاح الساحق، ونتمنى للجاليات الشرق أوسطية النجاح دائما من أجل خدمة جالياتنا في المهجر. شكرا جزيلا. معكم مقدم البرنامج نيك نجار، وإلى اللقاء في الأسبوع القادم مع ضيف آخر، وتصبحون على خير.